Summoner coming to you from above on top of my roof of my apartment building. Remember, wake up, smell the coffee, and know what time it is. It's 1 minute to midnight. Uh, on my last live stream, I caught two things, and people that are looking for just to smash somebody or to make fun of somebody, they don't understand me or my work I did before. If they would only go and research the work I've done in the past for the last 24 years, uh, then they wouldn't be doing such an ugly thing by saying some nasty things on my comment section. But I don't have to address them because I'm trying to give them a gift and they don't have to have it. It's all right with me. We can stay dumb and stupid, and you can tell the powers that be, I didn't know, if you're dumb and stupid, I want to tell you that. So anyway, I'm up on the roof today. It's Wednesday, and I'm going to summon right now through my summoning technique, which is on YouTube, my YouTube channel, UFO Robert Bingham on YouTube. Look up the summoning techniques video on my video lineup. Um, as for now, I'm going to summon like I do always. I'm starting a little early, but I'm going to do it. It's simple. I look up there, project my eyes as far as I can through that sky, and I tell them to come and interact with me. But today I'm going to ask them to show something intelligent, much more intelligent than the people that post those stupid comments on my YouTube channel. And that's all you do. And if you want to change the weather, you just ask them the same way to change the weather, because they can change the weather. They can create weather, change it. And the U.S. government's always trying to copy whatever they're doing. So that's why they do weather modification and all this other stuff. What else are they doing? Uh, they're doing a lot of things. I was talking to Andrew earlier today, and I was telling him how there's a parallel universe, whether it was created long ago or it was created during this time we acquired the U.S. acquired the technology. I think it was created while we acquired the technology, and that's where all your taxpayer dollars are going. Um, so the elite, they go to this other place, which is far superior and better than this place, because your tax dollars are definitely not really going into fixing up your streets or taking care of the homeless or certain things, developing true medical technology to make people live a healthier and happier life. But there is this other place they go to, and like a Shangri-La that they created with your taxpayer dollars. So they can do that with the technology they got, and that's what they're doing with the technology. Instead of it benefiting us, it's benefiting only the few and elite. And that's the truth about all that. You might not believe me, but that's up to you. I'll just give you a heads up on that. And so I'm gonna switch this so you can see the weather out here. This is it today. Again, it's got this somewhat like a milky haze in the sky, like chemtrails. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't give you that. I mean, the view is pretty good, but it's not that good as it should be. All right, Joey and Andrew. Um, I'm gonna share some stories. I got so many of them. I don't know if I shared the story of on my. I'm gonna share it. I was when I discovered my abilities and all that. I really didn't want to go public. I think I mentioned that I had an orb over my house for about 2 weeks, but I could have went public, but I didn't because I didn't want the scrutiny and I didn't want the reporters and I didn't want people camping on my front lawn. Anyway, uh, that happened. Well, one day I went out, I went out to a Dollar Tree and bought me a happy face balloon. And I balance lamp, what I was doing. And so I wrote 3 wishes on the happy face balloon right on the front of the face. And I put wish number one was for the ultimate alternative fuel cell. So we won't have to use polluting things to get the energy we need. And that we would have a more pristine earth. Number two, I asked for the remodification of the human cell. And number three, I asked for the next week's mega lotto numbers so I could have the money to put that knowledge to work. Well, when I did that and I let it go, a satellite type of stainless steel orb came, like, but much more mechanical. And I knew already knew what I wrote, but they were showing me that they were looking at it, and it was right next to the happy face balloon, and I took photos of that. And the happy face balloon uh, took off, but the orb, like stainless steel satellite, like stood there. So as I was taking pictures, bam! I seen as I was snapping the shutter, with taking a picture, I seen something go by real fast, and I said, "Damn! They couldn't have gave it to me that quick." And so I went to the viewfinder and I went back to the picture, and sure enough, they gave me the ultimate alternative fuel cell. Bam! They gave it to me just like that. And that symbol that Stephen Greer is using with the three circles connected, well, that's what they gave me. And I let Jim on it, and he gave it to Stephen Greer. And as natural as Jim will say, "Can you prove it?" Well, the terrestrials gave it to me, so I know that. Terrestrials know that. So, anyway. And I'll go to court with that if he wants to challenge me, which he won't. Anyway, on the second snap of the photo shutter, they gave me the alternative, I mean, no, the remodified human cell, which kind of looks like the coronavirus thing, but not like that. It's our cell, round like that, but it's more got spikes, like about 7 or 8 spikes, geometrically balanced in the cell, which is round. And in the cell, in those, there's spikes. That's our cell, but it got neurotoxins at the end, so that the viruses and things like that will not try to penetrate, get near it, because they won't. They'll just become dormant in your body. So, and that neurotoxin comes from the blowfish, the Japanese blowfish, which they eat with sushi. And sometimes people die because they get a little of that poison. But anyway, that's what they gave me. They didn't give me the lotto numbers, though. And that's one of the stories. That symbol Stephen Greer got. Yeah, that's mine. That was given to me by the terrestrials. Um, That's what I'm telling you. He's nothing but a stealer and a cheat, and he's no good. Oh, I briefed the president. Oh, sure you did. I briefed the CIA. Oh, come on, give us a break. Do we have any brains out there? It's the first thing he says when he comes out with that. And he's using film on this new movie that he came out with that was taken at my event that I brought in, and he's using it on there. What a creep, man. You guy is a creep. Anyway, enough of that. Uh, Another story is that, one time I went out there and there was this craft, like, it looked like a jet fighter, but it was kind of high, but it looked like a jet fighter, but more like uh, a snowboarder, but it had wings and it had a spoiler at the end, but it had no really edges. It was all rounded like, and it had a cockpit with a pilot with a helmet on, just like a regular jet fighter pilot. But it had an atomic weapon on the bottom belly of it. That's what I take it was, an atomic weapon. And it looked menacing, and I took the pictures, but they stole it. Um, See, there's people that are out there who want to steal my stuff, and they're watching me very closely, and they will steal it fast. So, to keep me suppressed. And so I took pictures of that one. There was about, I don't know, so many of them higher up, and they were like up there. I didn't understand what they were trying to tell me, except that they might nuke us themselves. That's what I got. If we keep continuing this, they might nuke us themselves. Sodom and Gomorrah happened, right? They got nuked. So I think when mankind gets carried away with himself and he gets too much, doesn't think there's repercussions. There are repercussions. I don't really have hate for those people that put all those dumb comments on my channel. I'm trying to wake them up, trying to show them to smell the coffee, to wake up, man. This is the great awakening. If you haven't waked up yet, oh my God, you're not going to wake up, and you're going to have to, you're not going to make it to ascension. That's all I can say. So you can post all those comments you want, man. That one that you said is Hello Kitty like. You know what it did? It was big, and although it was on the west side of me over here at these hills, way up there, I telepathically told it to come to me right above me, and it did. It went from there right up here where I'm at, right up there, and then it took off as fast as a jet, man, toward the mountains, but high, real high. I mean, it was moving faster than the airliners, twice as fast as they do. And so when you say it's a Hello Kitty balloon, you didn't even look at it, blow it up. You didn't even look to see the physical aspects of it, because it looked like a little like a Hello Kitty, but they don't want to draw too much attention to themselves, so they got to blend in like something in the sky. Then again, look at it out here right now. There's no balloons being sold. There's no balloon stores. And, where did it come from? Look at all this space. All you trollers and haters out there. A lot of space. How would it end up above me? And then that star was way up there, and it did the same thing that the Hello Kitty thing did. I telepathically told it to come over my head, and it did, and I filmed it, and then it took off. And all the time, both were going against the wind. So Hold on, I got a couple. Oh, I got it. Two of them, these drones, these small ones, beautiful ones, came over me, and I took a photo of one only, but I got it. Yay! Really beautiful, like angels, and I really got it. And so you'll be seeing that. Sorry, you'll be seeing that on. This is posted. This whole live stream is posted probably tonight. Oh wow! See, they came to show you, trollers and haters, that this is real, and you got to wake up now. This is the Great Awakening. You want to stay asleep, and when they tell you, you knew all along, you're gonna say, "Well, I didn't know. I didn't know," and because you're being a pendejo, uh, that it's all real up there, dudes or women, or I don't think women are saying too much bad things about me. It's all these dudes or whatever, haters, troll fighters. They go hide behind a keyboard and say bad things, but they won't say it in front of your face or come up to you and say those things. Well, yeah, that's your personality. Well, you know, I guess you're a latchkey kid. All right, I'm done saying those things. But anyway, I got that. They came to me, two of them right now. At first, I thought they were seagulls, but they weren't. Oh man, I'm so happy right now. Thank you guys, because that's what I asked them to bring, an intelligent thing right now, and they did. As I was talking to you, explaining, I. Well, let's go to a story, okay? When I was a kid, me and my buddy Joe used to go to Dodger Stadium, and we used to get tickets by asking people if they had any spare season tickets, because a lot of times two people might not show and they have two extra tickets. So we used to get in all the time, and his mom uh, served hot dogs up there and drinks, so we would get a hot dog and a drink and watch the game. Usually we would get box seat tickets, but once in a while we'd have to sit in the rafters way up on top, the cheapest seats. And so, one day we knew where San Francisco was in town, and Willie Mays, his car, we knew where it was. And so after the game, we waited by his car. But maybe there's a lot of Willie Mays fans. They might not like what I have to say, but we didn't know Willie was kind of prejudiced against white kids or kids that look white. But anyway, we were there first, and he didn't give us a ticket. My friend Joe was begging him to give an autograph, but he didn't. Anyway, some black kids came, and he easily gave them autographs, but he wouldn't. And I told Joe, hey man, he doesn't want to give you an autograph. Let's go. But he wanted that autograph. He didn't get it. So one day they were in town again, and I had some little green peaches in my pocket. I have an arm. I think I mentioned I have a real good arm. So we're on the rafters, way up there in the high seats, way up there, and behind home plate. And it was Willie's 40th birthday, and he had a cake out there, and he had microphones, almost like Lou Gehrig's speech, And I looked at Joe, and I pulled out that little green peach, and Joe goes, no. He shook his head, no, because they were giving him a standing ovation. And I threw it out there, And damn, if it didn't hit the cake that was in front of him and explode the cake, bam. I did that, and I'm sorry I did that. I wish I could take that back from doing that, but I was only 12 years old. and a little mischief maker, but I really didn't like the way he didn't give us his autograph, and I realized that he had personal issues, racist issues. And nobody believed me that he had racist issues, but he wrote a book, an autobiography, and he put it on, I think it was Walton's Books or some one of those bookstores, and he had a book signing, and he didn't sign the autographs of white kids. He did, but he charged them money, and so Walden's Bookstore kicked this book out of there, and then people believed me what I said, that he had some personal issues with white people. I don't know what happened to him. I'm sorry, Willie, if I did explode that cake. I wish I could take that back. But that's one of my true stories. People don't believe that. Well, that's not a great story for me anyway. But I did have an arm. And I was watching Julie, Lena, Lisa, Marie, and Joey and Chris members. All right. Those are some of the things that's how I grew up. I grew up kind of that way. We used to go to the Dodger Stadium all the time. We used to scalp tickets, ask for tickets, and we would get extra tickets. Then we'd sell them, not for a whole lot. I think a ticket back then was only $3.75 for a box seat ticket, or $4.50. So we would sell a couple and have enough money for popcorn, peanuts, or whatever, and we'd save one to get in, and that's was our Dodger days. And what else? Well, one time I was, I was living with my girlfriend at another time, and she had a lot of grandkids, and so the grandkids, I told them, hey, look I'm going to bring some orbs, and they came down all excited, playing with their handball, and all that sort of thing, and I brought them down, but I told them to ask them a question in whatever color came to them, so I gave them all a chance, and they came, and a whole bunch of them came, and then the little one, little girl, I forgot her name, geez, it's been so long. She said, Robert, they have faces on them. I said, yeah, they do have faces on them. I'm glad you see that. She had much better eyes than I do. I did at the time. Mine's are worse now. But they had faces. And they do have faces, and they have little orbs in there. Lots of little orbs. And these little orbs come out of the big orbs, and then they travel so fast that you can't see them. And so the tether you see is more like a hologram, but it's really like a catcher. It's like a thing that they hit the tether, it puts them inside the orb, or they come out of that tether-looking thing, because they can't come in at the speed that they're traveling at. It's just like this is what I learned over the years and years. It's just like an aircraft carrier. Aircraft carrier catapults its aircraft out there, and then when it comes in, it catches it with a cable. It's somewhat like that with the same thing, same principle with the orbs when they're sending out all these little drones to gather information. That's what they do. They love gathering information. They're like the guardians. They watch everything. And so, I'm just putting it out there. I don't want Stephen Greer to come out and say, hey, put it out in the book and say that it's his theory and all that, because that's what he does. Good. He's got the resources and the media behind it. So, but it's everything that he does he might give you a bit of information, but most of it is disinformation to keep you buying his books and going to his talks and all that sort of thing. So all of them are like that. It's a circus out there. I don't necessarily want to be part of their circus because that's not my style. My style is giving out the truth to you, which is my covenant with the universe and with God, Jesus, with all those things, and for free. For free. And if you don't believe it, come to my event. You know, when I throw an event, watch, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you'll be notified when I have an event, and you'll be there. And tell me those things that if you're a hater, come to my face and tell me that. But I doubt if you ever do that. Um, a little more about me, I guess. I was telling somebody the other day, I played basketball pretty good. And I was hoping that the PE teachers in junior high would notice. I had a jump shot when I was like 13 years old. A nice, beautiful jump shot. Which there wasn't too many people even in the pros that had a beautiful jump shot like I had. And so the PE teachers, they were all out there, and they called me over, and I thought, oh wow, they noticed my jump shot. And they said, Robert, do you want to get an A in PE? Guaranteed to get an A. And I said, sure, man. And this is where I felt pretty bad, is when they said, well, Ricky Owens, do you know him? I said, yeah, I know him. He was from Dogtown, and he was about 6'3", I think. We want you to teach him your jump shot at recesses and noon. Practice with him to teach him the jump shot. And I felt like somebody deflated the balloon I was floating on. And I said, okay. So I did that, and sure enough, they gave me an A. And he went on to play varsity in the 10th grade. And I went on to play JV, junior varsity. But I wasn't that very tall, I was about 5'6", still growing. And what made me say that? So, I did that, and then, I don't know, the teachers in my started coming to me in some of the classes I was failing, and I don't know, failing or not doing well. And they would challenge me to a basketball game for a grade, and I would say, sure, I'd meet you at this school. So I would play for my grades, some of them. And that followed me all the way to high school. I was playing for my grades, some of them, And I didn't mind doing that shit. I loved kicking their ass in basketball and then getting a grade for it. I really did. I really enjoyed that. So, what else? Let me look for a craft up there. And the reason why I didn't take a video, it took me too long to focus in. And so I took the snapshot of that craft, that drone that came in. Not a human drone, but one of an extraterrestrial drone. Oh, that was so awesome. Oh, I caught it. It's the most beautiful thing. Because doing this, what I do, everything has to be well-timed, and you have to be quick, and you have to make decisions. And in a nanosecond, you have to make these decisions. And you got to make the right one. Otherwise, you're not going to get the shot. Which is the most important thing. But I have a lot of experience. And even with all my experience doing things, I still screw up sometimes. I make the wrong call. So in high school, I did well. I got A's and B's, and Uh, but anyway, I did do some college, and it was at the University of Southern Colorado, USC. It's in Pueblo, Colorado. I lived on campus in a dorm. It was fun, but I was having more fun than actually. But I got what I went there for, and I got the highest interest exam, highest score, and so I'm not dumb. If you know, some of you might think so. Well, that's your own prerogative. But I challenge anybody, any day, especially Greer, the so-called emergency room tech doctor, who puts it out there like he's a doctor of space, a doctor of astronomy, and he's neither. And he puts all those fancy words, and I really can't stand the person. And I challenge him any time, any day. A challenge that can't be cheated, though. And he would never take me up on it. So all you Stephen Greer listeners that are listening, why don't you put it to him and tell him to challenge me? Because I put it out there. He wanted me to work with him, but if I would have brought something in, he would have said he brought it in. So I never would do that with him because he's not a good person, an honest person, or any of that. So I would not do anything unless I would challenge him, though, just like I do, like a shootout, like I said before. Never would he do that, and never would Jim Martin even do that. The guy that betrayed me and took all my material to him, plus the symbol of the ultimate alternative fuel cell. What a creep. Both creeps. They belong to each other. And the real deal is me. I'm the real deal. He's calling himself the real deal, Jim Martin. He's not the real deal. I should have turned him away when I first got the inclination that he was bad for me. When he ran up to me and hugged me, I thought, oh, he's gay or something's not good. He's hugging me like I'm the goose that laid the golden egg, and I should have just took it from there and not associated myself with him. But I know a lot of people, believe me. All of them, every one of them wants to steal my stuff, believe it. Almost everyone. I have to send a cease and desist order out to them because I realize they don't want to give me anything. They just want to take my material and capitalize on it. But there's a price for that, though. They're going to pay a price. Eventually, they're going to pay a price for it, for what they're doing to me. So, but I'm okay. Let me see. Let's see what's out there. And if you put comments out there, and you're a Stephen Greer fan, at least put down that you're a Stephen Greer fan. Be honest, man. Be upfront, man. Claim your body, or where you from. No, you're from Stephen Greer's a fan. At least put that down, because and if you don't got any subscribers, don't comment on my section at all. you know. Well, I already got what I got. I came out here to get that, and that's the main thing. The main thing. I got what I wanted really fast. I asked for it, and they gave it to me. So now I want a craft, a big craft. Remember, go to my UFO channel, UFO Robert Bingham on YouTube, and subscribe. Look at my videos. There got 5 of them that you'll see. That got some of the greatest videos. This one is called Wonton, where I captured, I'm the only one in the world that captured a video of the reptilians. And number 2, Tangle, where I capture a video of ghosts who have people who have passed, and they did the tango in broad daylight with a plasma energy. They did a tango up in the sky for me, and I filmed it. And number 3, Abracadabra, where they showed the technology right there. I took that film, the greatest film. Should have got millions and millions of hits. Why didn't it? Well, you got to ask yourself, why didn't all 3 of these should have went viral? They don't want it to go viral. Another number 4, the the strand, which is the DNA strand that was taken from us to live 1,000 years. They gave it back to us. Now it's all about implementing the strand or getting it activated. Number 4, Sharky. Sharky, where I did a video of the sharks being, they came to me, and the video I took of a shark without fins looks like it was in the ocean, but that was the sky. It was the plight of the shark. They're killing all the sharks in the oceans near Asia and everywhere just to get the fins. They're not eating the rest of the shark. They're just getting the fins. It's like getting gold, you know? $100 for a bowl of shark fin soup. How sick is that? So I did a video for the sharks. It's called Sharky. And so if you watch those videos and then come back at me with some comments if they're negative. But anyways, tell me if Stephen Greer ever took a good video like that. Never in his life. I think I heard him say, when somebody asked him, how many times have you seen them? He said about 17 times only, or 19 times in his whole life. And then his buddy, Stephen Bassett, never seen a UFO, and yet he's in the, right there with him. These are, that's just awful. How can people even listen to these guys when I've seen thousands of things? I time traveled and everything. And here comes a Learjet right over me. Right there, small Learjet. No markings at all. Anyway, yeah, so those are the characters out there in this circus, UFO circus. And they just make the circus with more clowns, and it's just none of them have abilities. Not that I know. But let me share a couple more stories, okay? For those that haven't heard this one, on Halloween, we lived in Alhambra, my girlfriend and I, and we had a small house there. And so she would like to decorate all the holidays, but on Halloween particularly, she would put spooky music on the porch and lights and all kinds of spooky things. And we lived in an Asian area where not too many kids would come trick-or-treating because there wasn't a lot of people giving out candy, but there was enough of them. Well, this particular two kids, I was on the porch having a coffee or something, a beer. At that time, I was drinking, and this big, well, about a 12-year-old, kind of heavy-set Indian-looking girl was holding the hands of a small, what looked like a boy, but he looked like a gymnast boy. He had an outfit with a mask on that was made out of, it looked like opal pearl. Anyway, it was such a magnificent mask. Uh, and his outfit was magnificent. Never seen anything like it. Well, he looked like he was in charge. He was smaller than her. And he never said trick or treat. He never said anything. So I invited him in the house, both of them. And I gave him 3 or 4 bags of candy. And the candies were really good candies, the big candies. And he looked up at me like if I was his dad. And I didn't take no pictures. Naturally I would have taken pictures. I got the cameras on in the house. But I didn't take pictures of him. But when he left, and she left, I realized that he was a little terrestrial. And he had an upside down triangle on his chest. A blue outfit that glittered like the stars. And yeah, what a time to pick to come and see me personally was Halloween, where he wouldn't get, people won't trip out on him, and I won't trip out on him. But that was a great time to pick to come and see me. So remember this, when you giving candy out in Halloween, really check out the costumes. um, um, it's pretty clear, except we have a haze over us. Again, I apologize for throwing that peach at Willie Mace's and it hitting his cake. Um, I was just 12 years old, and I was really pissed that he didn't sign our autograph, although we stood there a long time waiting for it. And sorry, Willie, if you're out there listening, I apologize. I don't even know if he's alive today. Yeah, that was a long, long throw. Oh, hola, Sina. I guess they don't want to give you too much, but I got really something great today already. But because of all the ridicule and the bad comments, maybe that's why they're holding back and giving you any more. I mean, especially the Stephen Greer people and the cowards that put that crap out there. Um, I'm going to ask them to come, despite they don't really want to come. You might not think they know who you are, put those bad comments, but they do. They know who you are. Every one of you that put those bad comments. So you don't have to believe they don't know, but they do. They know everything. One more story. One time I was at Eva's house, Eva Garcia, and I was at her computer, and she was next to me talking to me, and her phone was right there, and it rang. And I knew it was for me, although I never gave Eva's number out, and nobody knew I was there. And she answered the phone, and I knew she was going to say, yes, he's here. And she did. She goes, yes, he's right here. So she hands me the phone, and I answer it, and it's a nuclear physicist named Dr. John DeSalvo. And he asked me, hi, Robert, and I go, excuse me, how in the world did you get this number? Oh, well, Bob Ford gave me this number. He's a good friend of yours. I go, I have no friend named Bob Ford. Well, anyway, I knew it was the CIA involved somehow. And he says, well, I just called to ask if you could do me a favor. And I said, sure, what is it? And he goes, can you send a UFO over to where I'm at? And I said, sure, I can. So he wanted to tell me where he was at. And I said, you don't have to tell me where you're at, because obviously you found me, and they're much more superior. They know where you're at. So you don't have to tell me. But he kind of leaked that he was in Minnesota, and it was freezing, because I asked him, is it a clear day out there? And he said, yeah, but there's snow out here. I'll freeze to death if I go outside. So I said, well, do it from your window. So I told him to go to his window and practice the summoning technique. And I would go outside, and I would send them to him. And I said, in a half hour, you're going to call me, and you're going to tell me the results. He called me, and he was so elated. And he said that, how did I do that? And I said, well, they did it for me. But he said, this goes against all science. And I said, well, science has to catch up, you know. And he says, I'm going to share this with my colleagues. And he has 8 books published already. And he goes on the George Norrie show every time he writes a book. But he's the leading expert in the Giza pyramids and crystal skulls. So anyway, yeah, that did really happen, you know. But I never throw his name out there that much. His name is Dr. John DeSalvo. And so, oh, by the way, did I mention that I was written up by the New York Times? I could throw out all those things. The only guy in the UFO world that's been written up by the New York Times must have some credibility. I must be very credible, right? The New York Times put me out there. Not the LA Times, the New York Times. Anybody, any actor or actress would love to be written up by, that's what their goal is, to be, get a good review from the New York Times. Oh, after that, their career should be set, right? I'm still waiting to do a movie documentary, things like that. Well, looks like, folks, I'm going to call it a day. I give it 5 more minutes, and then call it a day, okay? And that would be 1 hour, almost. So don't forget, go to UFO Robert Bingham on YouTube and watch the video tomorrow. And it'll show you the object that I caught starting this whole thing. And there was 2 or 3 of them up there. And wow, I caught one. I got them on camera, I mean. I wanted to get both on camera, or all 3 of them. But wasn't that quick on the draw. Uh, well, again, please put some kind comments out there on UFO Robert Bingham on YouTube, and subscribe. Put some questions if you have them, and I'll answer them next time. Thank you for listening on this live stream. And remember, wake up, smell the coffee, and know what time it is. It's 1 minute to midnight. And keep your head to the sky. See you on Saturday. Looking forward to it. Bye.